This review of the new Kevin Abstract project Blush, might not be for you. It might be. I can't quite tell. Most of my audience, statistically, it is what you might call Generation Z or Zoomers, born between 1997 and 2012. And if that's you, this might not be for you because I'm going to be doing the thing I do every once in a while where I take a project, I take an album, and I use it as a way to better understand this generation. I have two kids in that generation. I have two who are younger and two who are born between 97 and 2012. And this is sort of for everyone who isn't from that time frame. Because, I've been out here. I've been out here in these streets listening to all sorts of new music. And I feel like I have a pretty good understanding. I feel like I at least have a good outsider's understanding of what this music is, what this culture is, and what it might be saying about these young people and what they want and what kind of art they are going to make. So I'm going to treat this album, Blush by Kevin Abstract, as something of a RoZetta Stone with a Z, a Voyager disc of Gen Z. Now, I've done this a couple times. I did this when I talked about Blady, who's a rapper guy. I think I did it when I talked about what's the name, Netspend. But I think it's an important thing. So maybe if that is you, maybe if you are a Generation Zer, a ZZ, you just feel free to show this to your parents. Hey, how's it going? Are you like me? Do you have a child who is considered a Zoomer? What's the point of their music? What do they like? What's going on there? Here's something for you to understand their musical taste, provided that their musical taste is not what is commercially ubiquitous. Okay, I'm not going to be here to describe to you, I don't know, Olivia Rodrigo. I could, but this is more about the more underground stuff, the stuff that they play for you that maybe you just sort of say, I don't know. And I kind of wish that this sort of thing existed for when I was younger. When I think of a similar album, a similar kind of RoZetta Stone for my generation, Generation X, you might think, oh, he's gonna say Nevermind by Nirvana. No, I'm gonna say the Judgment Night soundtrack. And if you don't know, I'm not going to explain it to you, but I would have actually really enjoyed some boomer explaining to my boomer parents why that album was so relevant to me. Maybe if you're a millennial, it would have been nice to have someone explain to your parents why, I don't know, Tyler the Creator or Fleet Foxes are so important. So what is this about this kind of alien yet familiar album? Well, in order to explain it to you, I need to give you the background of a couple of the primary characters behind it. Okay? This is a collective album, but it's also the brainchild of two people. One of them is Kevin Abstract, the person in whose name this is. He is a very Zoomer type fellow, okay? He's from Corpus Christi, Texas, and he started a hip-hop collective called Brockhampton. I think when I review their music, I also talk about them as being very of their generation. Because, hip-hop collectives, like, they call themselves a boy band. They're playing around with so many things in terms of, like, perspective and race and gender and genre, and they met on a frickin' Kanye West message board. Now, this Kevin Abstract guy, he came out as gay in 2016, and he maintained his music career, and he did the sort of thing that maybe you don't understand about your kids. Maybe you don't quite understand that we've done such a good job. Okay, not such a good job. We've done a passable, okay? I was a founding member of the Gay Straight Alliance in the Belmont High School back in the 90s. Belmont High School, Belmont, Massachusetts. Go Marauders. And I wasn't gay or bi or anything, but I wanted to be an ally. Now, I was still a homophobe who used the F slur without thinking it was bad, but I was also a member of the Gay Straight Alliance. So that was the confusing part of the 90s. I got called that F slur for attending that meeting, So we've made some progress, and the best progress we can make is that when an artist who happens to be a rapper comes out as gay, for the most part, the reaction is, oh. It's not like, oh, wow, what a huge for the future and the knockdown and everything. It's like, oh, which, by the way, is the proper answer. Think, right? Think. I'm going to assume, oh, parent of Gen Z, that you are socially progressive. If your kid comes out to you as gay, wouldn't you just say, oh, right? Isn't that the thing to say? All right, cool. Sounds good. Glad you have rights. So that's one person. That's Kevin Abstract. He apparently was kicked out of his home or ran away from home at age 15 and figured out this hard scrabble life. And then we have on the other side the co-producer of this, another artist who I often use to describe young men these days, a guy named Quadeca. Quadeca. It's apparently a fun thing to mispronounce his name, or maybe I already am. Now, he has a very different life story. He is legitimately the son of a general partner from a Silicon Valley venture capital firm. Okay? Silicon Valley venture cap. Did I say silly? A silly anyways, you know. So not from the streets of Corpus Christi. Not. Did I just call it Corpus Crispy? Can you please tell me, is there such a thing as a Corpus Crispy donut, where when you do communion, you give out donuts from Krispy Kreme? Can you please tell me? That's not sacrilegious, because my dad was a minister. Okay. Corpus Christi. Anyways, so he grows up in California, goes to a elite private school, becomes famous as an internet YouTuber. You know your kids. They watch so much YouTube. They watch all these kids like Dream. I don't watch him anymore. But the point is, they watch kids on YouTube playing video games, and then these kids playing video games become superstars. Like this guy Quadeca, who's like sitting there playing FIFA. Playing a frickin' soccer game. Is this America, everybody? These are things we don't understand. And yet, despite these sort of, I don't know, unexpected beginnings, he managed to become one of the most interesting, introspective, impressive musicians of his generation. So, welcome to Gen Z, everybody. This is part of the idea. Like, how can it be that you have one of the most intersectional rappers you could possibly have, a gay black guy from Texas who ran away from his religiously repressive Southern household, mixed with a seemingly well-adjusted guy from an intact family, from a fair amount of wealth, who soccer-playing kid from the Tony sections of Los Angeles? How can they work together? Because fuck you, that's why. Because music, because that's why. Because it's art, because it's the internet. And if you think this is something new, I hate to tell you. Rick Rubin, co-founder of Def Jam, made LL Cool J's first album. He didn't come from the streets. He understood. Hey, look who I happen to have right here from a previous video. You know? What? You think Alchemist and Boldy James had a similar life experience? Alchemist is from, get this, Beverly Hills. So when he was working with Prodigy in the late 90s, okay, it just happens to be that there is perhaps some meritocracy. I'm sorry. We've got like a stomach thing going through the whole house right now. So I had it. So I'm wiped out. My baby just got it. I might have to stop this video. And if you're a parent of a Gen Zer, you know what this is like. So I'm a little bit off my game. So I apologize if I say things like Corpus Crispy. Corpus Crispy. It's a good idea. There is a meritocratic aspect to the internet, where if you're good, if you do good work, even if you start off as a joke rapper, internet FIFA player, you can still be treated seriously as an artist. Even if you are kicked out of your house and you can't figure out where to go, and basically everything in all of society has been designed to be against you, you can still find a place to work together. Everybody wants to see themselves reflected in art, and an album like this reflects so much back. You have one person who uses his privilege to make art, and another person who uses art to find privilege. Great. Okay? So that's why your kids are listening to Blush. And also because it's internet music. Now, what is internet music? It is aggressively genreless. Always aspects of at least a pinch of hip-hop. In this case, a couple teaspoons of hip-hop, tablespoons of hip-hop. Usually a dose of electronic music. In this case, a couple teaspoons there too. And there has what we can just call a dialectic. I know, I'm using a big word. What can we say? Those of you who are down with the DBT, like me, you know what dialectic is. But if you aren't down with DBT, all praise Marsha. If you don't know what DBT is, you know what dialectical means. It's like acting through opposing forces. So instead of saying this but that, you say this and that. Like, how can you reconcile opposite forces and make them into one thing? That's what dialectics is. And that's, in reality, probably the goal of most critical thinking. Most critical thinking is that. If a good professor asks you, is it A or B? The answer is almost always it is A and B. And Zoomer music is based on a critical dialectic, critical reconciling of opposites. But before I even get to that, don't get all up in your head, boomers. So was your music. Altruism and selfishness. The hippie movement is all about free love and looking out for everybody, but it's also all about getting high and boning everything that moves and being a hedonistic, selfish jerk. How do you reconcile those two things? You're a boomer. Generation X, you're so disinterested. You don't care about anything. You're just a big loser. But yet, despite all your rage, you're still just a rat in a cage, right? You're disinterested and you're rageful. That's a dialectic. Millennials, hope and hopelessness. Whoa, we'll never buy a house, right? Hopelessness. And what's great is that all of these dialectics we just keep building on them. The altruism and selfishness is in the music that would follow. The disinterest and rage is in the music that would follow. The hope and hopelessness is in the music that would follow. But what's been added is a sort of attitudinal shift that's in Zoomer music, and this is what fascinates me. It is the dialectic, the reconciling of two opposites between vibes. Chilled out vibes, man. Don't get into it. Just listen. Hit next. Was that a track? I don't know. Chilled out vibes. And then overstimulated, everything's going all the freaking time. Everything all the time. Block blast, block blast, block blast. How many times? How many times did you download it? I downloaded like three, 4 times. I got ding, 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 ding. Okay? That's it too, right? Okay. I got my second screen, I got my third screen, I got my iPhone, I got my iPad, I got my TV, and then I got my friends, and I'm talking to 2 different people, and I'm petting my dog, okay? It's those things. It's those things together. This album is those things together. That's what it is. Vibes you can't explain. You just live them. And that creates a kind of music which can be, for old folks like us, kind of difficult to sink our teeth into because we don't really know what to make of it. Because it's sort of like we grew up looking down on things like soft jazz or things that were kind of calm. But it makes sense because kids these days, they grow up in these overstimulated environments. So sometimes music has to address that and be a calming force. And about 3/4 of this album is like that. But then the other quarter is the overstimulated aspect, the pop, the thing that created what's called hyperpop, where you just listen to music and it just sounds like ADHD, just in music. So you can either pay lots of attention or no attention at the same time. It's a dialectic. Pay lots of attention and no attention. Talk about it exhaustively and study it. Don't study it at all and just experience it. That's the dialectic. This whole album is a cavalcade of people, each with different styles, rap, pop. I don't know what they're rapping about sometimes. It's like sex and materialism. Is it like ironic? Is it post-ironic? Is it meta-ironic? It's not really actually clear what they're saying. The cover itself is Kevin Abstract himself wearing pajamas sitting in a library covering up his face. I don't know. What's that trying to say? I don't know what that's trying to say. Is this like his library? Each one of these books a different sound that we're going to have? Is that what we are? Like you know how you go to a library? Why do you go to a library? You go to a library, like find all the books and look at all the books, but it's also one of the nicest places just to chill out. It's the place where you can get maximum information while at the same time you can just be the most relaxed. I don't know. Is that the point? Could be. What about this title, Blush? Okay, now here's what's interesting. Blushing. I actually I went to grad school, and thank you for auditing the Always Positive Music Review show, hosted by a French professor who went to grad school at the University of California, Santa Barbara. One of my teachers in my last year there was a Norwegian. I think she was a Norwegian lady, some kind of Scandinavian lady, very smart. And all of her research and scholarship was on physiognomy in the 18th century. So that just means like she really focused on blushing. So the thing about blushing is you can't control it. So when you live in a curated environment, and most of these Gen Z kids, they live online, right? So they are able to monitor and present themselves in a precise way however they want. All of their experiences are mediated either through their screen or through a keyboard or through something which allows them to present themselves exactly as they want to be presented. So if you are texting with a girl and she says, "I saw you today and thought you looked cute," you don't have to respond to that. You can respond to it, but then she doesn't see you respond. So then you can think about it for half an hour and then hit her back and say, "Oh, cool. I felt cute. LOL." Right? Like, you can say whatever you want. I don't know. That seemed like a good flirt. Tell me in the comments, what's the best way to flirt to that? Corpus Crispy. This donut is indeed the body of Christ. So blushing is the opposite of that, because there is a part of Generation Z where they want to be tactile. There's a reason that Gen Z likes pinball machines and vinyl records, because they're trying to get back to something real. It's something tactile. It's something you cannot avoid. It's something you cannot mediate with technology. You cannot hide behind it. Now, there's the other aspect where also it's interesting, because Kevin Abstract is a black guy. And of course, everybody blushes, but the darker your skin tone, the less perceptible it is, right? It's not that it happens less, it's just less perceptible. It's just a skin tone thing, right? So I find that interesting, because another thing, by the way, Harry Potter, out. Sorry, millennials, we had a great run. Harry Potter used to be great, but it's not great anymore. Gen Z doesn't like Harry Potter because of the bigotry. But J.K. Rowling would constantly write about blushing. That's one of the things she write about all the time, to indicate that amount of uncomfortableness. And of course, she didn't know how to write non-white characters. But we'll just move on from that. I just triggered you. I'm sorry. Anyways. So, blush. It's a collective. It's not an album by Kevin Abstract. It's a collective that Kevin Abstract and Quatica started. I don't know. I read that somewhere. What's going on? What is this? What is this album? I don't actually fully understand. It's sort of a collective. And that's another thing. There's parts where Kevin Abstract isn't even on this album. Because what is authorship in the digital? I was about to make a cool point, and then I didn't pronounce it properly. It's probably because I only slept about 3 hours yesterday. Let me say it again. I don't edit my videos. So I hope you enjoy. Smash like bucket, subscribe, douse everything with bleach. That's what I've been doing. What is authorship in the digital era? What is it? Who owns what? Why not make an album and just give some songs to other people? You're not going to make any money off it anyways. I'm going to make money off of touring. So this album, it's like a playlist of an album. It's like a playlist. It is. It's a playlist. It's not like one cohesive idea. It's like this dude, Kevin Abstract, apparently went through a breakup and moved to Houston from Corpus Christi. He moved, I'm just calling it that from now on, moved there, Corpus Krispy Kreme, moved there after a breakup to Houston and just got together with some artists and hooked up with Quatica. I don't think like literally, I mean like, hooked up artistically, and like just decided to make this album and throw it together. And it has that feeling of a playlist. It has that feeling of a predictive algorithm. Like, if you like this, then you might like that. When that happens and you're sort of like, damn, how did that know? This album is like that, because it's not all the same. I can't tell what it's saying. At times it seems to be a post-breakup album. At times it seems to be just like a straight rap album. It's overstimulating. It's pansexual. Whew. So let me give you examples, okay? One of each. One from each school of thought. School number 1, overstimulating. The song, Nola, produced by Quatica. It is bouncy. It is sketchy. It is overstuffed. There are so many people. You need to listen to this like 10 times in order to unpack it. It's like it's sort of like soundtrack to what the kids these days call brain rot, where things are just moving around and jumping around. I swear to God, you can play Subway Surfer listening to the song for 3 hours. This like backwards sound happens, and then this truly voice person just jumps on. Is that their name? I think that's the name. What you playing for? I can make you jealous first. I'm gonna back it up and rub it in your face. I don't know what that's about. Then these rising synths, and then this pitch down sample. Fuck up up that, leave some, and then a hyperkinetic, bouncy New Orleans style beat. It's of the moment. It's absolutely maximal. And then Love Spells is this rapper who's like very clearly okay, not very clearly. I don't understand. Like gender and genre is all mixed up because half the time Love Spells sings, I think it's a lady, and half the time I think it's a dude, and I don't think it matters. I don't think. Guess what? It doesn't matter. Do you know what's the proper answer if your kid says I'm trans? You say, "Oh, I hope you get more rights." That's it. That's the answer. you know. Anyways. I don't as I don't know. I don't know what this. I don't know what Love Spells looks like. I don't know where they're from. I literally do not know if Love Spells is a cis man or a trans woman or a trans man or whatever it is, and it doesn't matter. I had to stop myself as an Xer because I want answers. I want to know. But I just know that whoever Love Spells is, they are incredibly capable of making some really beautiful music. Could really use some with this truly young singing and money duffel bag, not fucked up teeth. Unexpected Spanish in here from someone called Drigo, Dame Todo Mami. Of course, you got to have Spanish in there because, we're in Texas. Then this verse from Drigo and this starts with just a voice, which is a little respite from the insanity. I don't penny pinch. I spend money on my hose. If I was selling dick, she couldn't afford it. What is this? What's going on with this song? What's been happening? And then Kevin Abstract comes on here and barely even participates in his own project. I don't want to share myself. I only want to share my bitch. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand that line. I don't understand that. I don't understand that lyric coming from him, but I don't have to understand because it's not really for me to understand. And then JPEG Mafia is on this album. JPEG Mafia is in the middle of all this. They got a JPEG Mafia feature, like one of the biggest names in underground rap music, the kind of guy who can get you to come on, could get anyone to listen to your project. And they throw him in the middle of this whole mess. And that's cool. I'm sure he's cool with it because that's the kind of guy JPEG Mafia is. He does what's right. He doesn't do what's like sensible. And he just energy and punchline, want the head, neck, face, little baby, that straight Kurt angle. You like the feds, don't buy what you're selling. I can't work the angles. It was just great. And it was funny because like I paused this. My wife sent me some Instagram thing. And so I paused the song and then I pressed play again. And I was like, is this a different song? Was this the same song I was just listening to? Because now there's these choir sounds in the back and there's vocals and this kind of ghostly and just saying, I could really use some swimming in the syrup, talk to God while I'm smoking loud. I could really use some flyer than a feather. You won't ever see me touch the ground. I could really use some. What was all of that? I spent as much time as I could trying to break it all down, but what was left with was just this chaotic, frenetic, delightful mess. This Whitman sampler of rappers. Now on the other side, we have a song like Text Me, which is all vibes. This is probably my favorite song on the album. It's just this guitar and ethereal singing, very reminiscent of Steve Lacy's production. It starts off with Kevin Abstract's lyric, late night pharmacy runs, gripping my dick while I'm gripping my gun. I don't know what that means. I suppose buying condoms, that's what you do, a late night pharmacy run, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I got 4 kids, so, gun, I don't know what. And then this great kind of nice high summertime madness sound, and then just the most zoomery lyrics. So you can call me bad news, watch the rest all grumpy. I was having a good week. You could have just texted me. Took you this long to say you're sorry. You could have just texted me. You might not know this about your Gen Z kids. They will not call. They will not call. They will not call each other. And I feel sorry for them because calling your friends when you're a teenager is awesome. Me and my buddy Brad, we used to talk for hours. I have a weird kind of sleep thing, so I'd fall asleep and wake up in a half awake state and be talking to him, and then I'd go to hang up the phone and actually I wasn't talking to him. I was like sleep talking and I'd like jolt myself awake. We would talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Man, it sucks. But anyways, all they do is text. And if you call, it's like an insult. It's like a shock. attempted to get better. He's talking about like trying to get better with this doubled voice and like loving Jesus and meditating. It's been 2 years. I was still recovering and I love Jesus, but goddamn, he's testing me. This like Radiohead guitar drone, and I can barely even write because I'm just vibing so hard with this whole album and this whole song. I hope that helped you to understand what this is. I'm going to go through the rest of the album stupid quick because I have a hard time. I've written, how many more pages do I have here? No way. I've got 16 more pages of notes here, but I'm not going to do it. You know, I'm actually not going to do it. I'm just going to go straight through because that's the whole thing. The whole thing's just like this, you know? The introduction is someone named Roro. It's in Spanish and it's harmony and it's dramatic and it's epic and it's sweet. H-Town is like a posse cut with one of the guys who broke up in Brockhampton, but clearly they're friends. And this cool, hard drum beat and all these great lyrics and this so gone, so flexy. You might be like my favorite rapper on this whole thing here. Type of N-word to hold the whole onion. I don't know what that means, but I like onions. Not right now, though, because my tummy still hurts. Whatever this norovirus is that's going around. Amir Fan comes with like a good kid verse. I never killed nobody, but I've seen so many bodies that'll haunt me. And it's just the Love Spells. Love Spells comes back again. Rogers and Link, Cry For Me, Styrofoam Baby. I don't know what's happening. Copy comes on, hard drums and gauzy guitars, more of that Lacey style stuff. I know I'll end up back with you because this album is partly a breakup album. I think it's like a breakup of the band and a breakup with a partner. It's like a chorus from Kevin Abstract, and the beat slows down, and more good, so gone, so flexy stuff with just good rap stuff, and talking about sipping lean and his standard Houston stuff, I guess. And then Danny Brown, for fuck's sake, why not, Dan? Why not? Check. Why not have Danny Brown on here? Just thrown in here of just one verse. I listened to this song on repeat like 3 times in a row because it's 1 minute. Spirit of a slave drowning in the ocean. That's why we don't swim, but on these tracks I'm floating. Used to really feel something when a rapper died. Used to live to die, now I'm dying to live. It's all about his redemption arc, how he's trying to get off of drugs, how he's trying to appreciate life. I love Danny Brown. And of course he's in here, because this is a playlist. This is a weird algorithmic thing. If you liked all this mess, you might like this thing over here. Then we get to the song Yoko Ono. Oh my God, I'm talking about the whole album again. That's all right. Love Spells, singing super high, rapping. There's ambiguity. I don't know what's up with Love Spells. All these weird sort of like sex lines. And then Kevin Abstract asked the question, what's a classic without a B-side? What's the Beatles without Yoko? I don't want to know. Yoko is not the reason the Beatles broke up. See, the Beatles broke up because John Lennon and Paul McCartney did not want to make music anymore. George Harrison didn't want to make music with them. Ringo was just tired of everything. So that's why the Beatles broke up. It wasn't because of some lady. Okay? In case you were wondering why the Beatles broke up. The Beatles broke up because they were a band that broke up. In case you're wondering. So much going on here. Able to say nothing, but it's so good. Those are just my notes. And this whole different vibe with the Nola song, and then Post-Breakup Beauty, which is a whole nother vibe. These Casio drums and talking about the breakup and it looks perfect on you. You changed everything. And the 97 Jag with these awesome compressed drums. Love Spells singing again. So you don't love me. Why did you F me? Baby, call me back. So you don't need me. Why are you pleasing me? Promise you'll call me back. It's like desperate. That's my favorite line. Damn, I miss when you only hung out with nerds. I get that, you know. I used to only hang out with nerds, and then I went to then I got cool for a little while when I was like 24 years old, and I was living in Marseille, and I was like hanging around with a bunch of cool guys, and I was like super cool, and like all the girls thought I was hot, and it was like super awesome, you know. And I went back home. My friend Ted was like, "Man, what's going on with you, Skye?" He was basically saying, "I miss when you only hung with nerds." Then text me. We already talked about that, and then we get to Geezer. Okay, I got just. Who cares? Who cares? Most of you watching, I know you're actually fans and you want to hear what I have to say. So cheers to you. I assume the song's called Geezer because it's like a Weezer-y style song. But what it's actually like is this kind of song in the 90s. like Sugar Ray would make, or Sublime, that's like a mixture between like kind of a hip hop, kind of a pop, sort of mixed together, of what I refer to as 90s pop trash. I hate this stuff. I sort of enjoy listening to it, but I hate it on principle. So I've been having an argument with my daughter for like the last month. She keeps telling me that Sublime is in fact not just trash, just fucking worst fucking music. Okay, so she's been telling me that, and I've been trying to be cool. Okay, listen, there's three bands I thought I'd never have to listen to again once I graduated college: Sublime, Dave Matthews Band, and 311. And lo and behold, all those motherfuckers are still around. Point is, she's trying to describe to me why Sublime's good because she wants to go see them play in concert. I said, well, you can go see the bass player because he's the only guy who's left from the band who's still playing. Doesn't matter. Point is, we have a whole argument. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It was just overplayed at the time. They have a good sense of rhythm. And as far as like, white kid, fake-ass reggae goes, no, I can't do it. I still don't like it. But it's fine if she likes it. She has good taste in general. So I hear this song and I go, I bet she's going to like this song. And I play it and she loves it. And she's like, yeah, I really do like this. And I'm like, I know, because it sort of scratches that Sublime itch. And it features Dominic Fike. And when I told that to her, she said, I like Dominic Fike, but I don't like his music ever since he cheated on Hunter Schafer. So I don't know. I don't know what that is. I guess she's a popular actress and he cheated on her. So bad Dominic Fike. But I mean, come on. How are young famous people not going to cheat on each other, I wasn't there. Kind of like a cool sample song. Okay, sampler. So someone named Derby, who's kind of like Dijon, but like not quite as good, but also not exactly the same. Pretty cool, a little more southerny, kind of Dijon kind of guy. I don't know what he is, where he's from, but I like the song. It's a sampler. It's not even, Kevin Abstract is not on this, but yet it's on his project. Interlude is just Quatica and Kevin Abstract, and there'd just be this one big ass swan that just flying across the lakes this morning. That shit's crazy. Anyways, then we get to the song Maroon again with Dominic Fike. I don't really like this style. I don't really like who he is. I'll never forgive him for cheating on Hunter Schafer. Have I seen anything with her? I didn't watch Euphoria. I feel like I've seen her in something, but anyways, I don't know. Remember when I could turn your face maroon back when there was only space for two? So maroon, like blushing, kind of in there. And then there's an outro with Norm Macdonald. Okay, are you back, Gen X? Okay, come here. I'm gonna tell you something really weird about Gen Z. Okay, they are nutty for Norm Macdonald. So if you are a Gen X parent of a Gen Z child, this is a way you can connect. Because I hate to tell you, Gen Z, but Norm Macdonald is Generation X as a comedian. His whole style, his whole don't care, whatever, subversive, non-trying, don't know how to drive, just dry wit, all of that. So like for the last couple of years, especially my son's been trying to tell me how great Norm Macdonald is. I'm like, I know. I've thought Norm Macdonald is that funny since like the 90s. But I do have to tell him, but don't believe what anyone is telling you online that he was like some kind of revolutionary guy for making all the OJ jokes. Everyone was making those jokes, man. That was played out. That was Norm Macdonald's worst stuff, was his OJ stuff. That was tired and boring. The rest of it was great. Anyways. Pop out, guitar-led, super squeaky voice. I guess it's Love Spells again. Shoddy, let me show you some. Bitch, I know you owe me some. And then go straight into Amir Van and Drigo in quick succession. It's just like this whole like posse cut and girlfriend. My boy got a girlfriend. I don't know who's singing. I don't know who's doing what. Kevin Abstract has this whole chorus where it's like, I try to take off work, but my boss don't really fuck with me. It's cause you fuck with me. It's cause you stuck with me. So like, I don't know if he's trying to sing like back when he was younger, what it was like to have a boss. And Drigo's on here and the singer Truly Young is kind of like an 070 Shake style thing. We get to the song Bloom. This is a long playlist. Nice slow drum beat. My 2-year-old heard this song and she stopped eating her oatmeal got down out of her seat and started dancing. I don't know. It's kind of a slow song. So maybe this is for Gen Beta, whatever the hell she is. She was born in 2022. You tell me what we call that generation. By the way, can we do a new thing for the generation naming conventions? It was called Generation X because it was like there was no name for it. So like we weren't supposed to continue with the alphabet. I feel like we got lazy. Abandon is just a Quatica song. Beautiful Quatica song. It's his kind of style of soul music. You were always there for me. Won't you abandon me like everyone else? I'm waiting. He is just so capable of writing such powerful, moving songs, much like that Derby song. If you didn't know Quatica before, you want to know him now. Then we get to the song Red Light. It's a song with this amazing, great resetting sample, almost kind of Daft Punky, this compressed style keyboards and the clapping on all fours. Quatica singing the chorus, won't you stay in my sleep? Want you to say what you mean to me. And Kevin has a very sort of Kanye style verse. You a warning sign with the $sign, like all the time. I call you up, you don't call me back, but I call you mine. Again, we're in this whole zone where we're living in a post Kanye world, but we're still living in the world that he created. You know what I mean? It's like everyone can talk about how terrible he is and all that stuff, right? You know what it is? It's like, it's okay. I understand people. I listen. He deserves all the criticism for the terrible things he's saying. Okay, I'm not saying that, but there is a part of me that's like, you can't call him Hitler if you don't also know he's Picasso. So that's my problem. I've been trying to say he's Picasso for so long, and 20% of the people understand that I'm right. 80% of the people think I'm an idiot, right? But it's like, it's how people jump on who never understood that he was Picasso. People just thought he was, I don't know, a lesser, just some guy. Just some he was like Drake, just some popular guy. Anyways, he's not Hitler either, but yeah. No matter how hard he tries. And at the end, it's just so beautiful. There's this violin. And if you're listening to it on repeat like I am, it goes right into the introduction. It's a perfect outro. And I hope you've enjoyed this trip, this little journey through this album, through this whole thing. And it's like, that's what this is. This is what it's like, I think, inside the mind of a millennial, of a Zoomer with good taste. This is like what they gravitate towards creating and what they gravitate towards enjoying. And let's see, my 2-year-old got my baby monitor. She is asleep. I'm going to check my texts, see if there's any more vomiting situation. No, there is not. This video has gone off without a hitch. Let me know if you've ever eaten a Corpus Crispy donut at church. Until next time, there's the camera.